Ironically, now would be the perfect time to ambush this ship now that everybody's out of their posts. So why is Mori the only one that dresses like a space pirate? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Space Battleship Yamato. Despite everybody telling me to stop watching it and start watching a different one, we are finishing this show, okay? So we're coming back into episode 13, but we have notes about episode 12. The board will be linked down below, but there has been no changes to the board since last episode, as we weren't introduced to anybody new, nobody died, no relationships changed. I'm not exactly sure what star Mori is praying to. She says the Alpha of the Trinity of Orion, and says it's called the Prayer Star. I'm not aware of any star being called the Prayer Star. Additionally, Alpha Orionis is a Betelgeuse and not a trinary system. Zeta Orionis is a trinary system, but by name alone, you can see it's not Alpha. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they probably meant Betelgeuse, considering we see all of one star in the episode. That said, if that is the case, then the Yamato has traveled 643 light years from Earth. I already stated during the reaction that I was arguing with the editors at the end. Well, they say that the Yamato was trapped by Dessler at the Alpha of Orion, about 980 to 1,500 light years away from Earth, which implies I just don't know what the Alpha of Orion is. Typically, they're more right than not about, like, the layout of space, right? They get the science right on that stuff quite often. They just get the planetary stuff wrong. So I'm just going to take it to mean that whatever weird terminology they're using is just terminology I'm not aware of. It's not great that the bridge appears to be empty when the ship is just cruising through space. The bridge crew all come running into the room when something is amiss, instead of being there already to detect something's wrong before the Yamato slams into it. Like, I get that the ship, I get that this members of the crew can't always be on the bridge, right? But that's why you would have secondary officers. But instead of having people there to man the stations, when the primary crew show up, there's just nobody there. They run in and man unmanned stations. That is bad. That's a bad idea. It's also confusing what Shima does sometimes. He steers the ship, I know that. But it would also seem that he controls the thrust and such most of the time. And then we get shots of the engineering section in other episodes where they are the ones controlling it. Either I'm just mistaken, or there is an inconsistency happening in what Shima actually does. Discipline is clearly very important to onboard ship, but discipline to the point of letting yourselves be killed for a poorly timed order is also insanity, especially considering the stakes. It's not just the ship, but everyone on Earth as well. I understand that the source of this dispute is coming from Okita's medical condition, but it's worth pointing out regardless. Well, Dessler's plan seemed like it was perfectly fine, except whatever happened to the nearby base, as the missile barrage seemed to have fallen completely short. Also, Dessler fired on the gas with a energy pistol of some sort, and the gas just ate it. I understand that a star is a star, but if it could eat a laser, you'd think it might not have just instantly died to plasma like it did. Like, the idea of what wins between a fight between an ice cube in a match, right? Obviously, the match goes out because the mass of the ice cube is more potential energy than the match's active energy. So, in that sense, the gas cloud could never have eaten enough of the star to not have died to the star. But I'm just saying, it seems like it died really quick. That's all I'm saying. I don't have much to say about the ending bit. It was just a really cool action set piece. I would have thought that the flares would have been a bit larger, like planet-sized, given the size difference of Betelgeuse to our sun. But that's just being nitpicky, and also, to the first point, assuming that it is Betelgeuse. And also, I think it would have been cooler seeing the Yamato swerving between planet-sized plumes of fire. I guess it wouldn't really be that much of a difference, given the animation of 1974. I wonder if we are meant to be pulling something from Dessler's end conversation, like he has multiple personalities or something. The fact he calls Hisu stupid for something that he did last encounter would seem to imply two different modes of thinking, at least about this specific thing. So maybe that or bipolar. And my final note. The final editor's note at the end of the episode says that there are 308 days left till the extinction of mankind, which means it was December 23rd, the 55th day after departure. We know the Yamato launched on October 9th, which would be when there was 363 days left for mankind. Math segment for you guys. 308 plus 55 equals 363. 55 days past October 9th is not December 23rd. So, I don't know where they're coming from. At the same time, it doesn't equal to mine either. I think 55 days past that day actually means December 3rd. But my timeline says it should be December 4th, as I've done every episode now. Last episode was December 1st. Yamato gets past Gamlis Minefield at the edge of the star system with 311 days left. And then the next thing is December 4th. Yamato escapes a trap between a missile barrage, a gas cloud, and a star of Orion. 308 days left. So 308, 311, that's 3 days, right? That's a 3-day difference. So December 1st being the last day, 3 days difference, December 4th, right? 1 plus 3 equals 4. And before that was November 27th with 315, goes to 311 days. It's a 4-day difference that gets us to December 1st. So on and so forth. I was right when the editors said I was right on a very specific day when they called out what day it would be. And I was like, hey, we agree. But now they are completely off. And I don't think, unless they bring up in a different episode that they were wrong about a previous note in their own thing, we're not going to be seeing eye to eye anymore. So I guess it's going to be interesting to see how that changes. Because, it's also the fact that, what did we launch? We launched on October 9th. So it's not even subject to, like, a leap year or anything. The number of days in each month should still be the same until we get, like, unless we pull a down to the wire thing, and we have to get to October 9th again, like 1 day left to save Earth, in which case we will go through in April. Sorry, not in April, February. We'll go through a February, and then we'll have to figure out if we're in a leap year. Technically, we know what year it is, right? 2199. So we could figure out if that's a leap year or not. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. Just want to point out that I am disagreeing with the editors of the show. That said, though, let's go ahead and hop on in and see what we get from this episode.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
It also occurs to me that despite the fact that we have the opening every time, there's elements of the notes that I could be talking about before, or I mean, during the opening of the show. Because as we all know, I have to talk over the opening of the show because typically the music is the most copyrightable thing to come up. Additionally, the opening graphic is the same for every episode. So if you were going to be looking for specific graphics to come up on screen to detect if the show was up, this would be the thing you would do. So that's why the graphic thing comes down. I gotta talk over the music. But knowing that ahead of time, I should maybe like start the video and then start reading my last note. But at the same time, I'd have to make the last note something we could get through within like a minute, and I'm never sure exactly how much I'm gonna have to say about the last thing I wrote. So it would be a task of trying to figure out what is a note that I have that only lasts for a minute. Although to be fair, typically we also start with a recap of where we're at in case you like are watching this as your first episode. Well, new recap. So didn't we lose the So didn't we lose the anchor?
それはヤマトの生還を待ち望んでいる地球人類の全滅を意味するのだ。今こうしている間にも放射能の地下汚染は刻々と人類を死へと追いやっているのだ。急げ宇宙戦艦ヤマト。
And beyond the missiles, I do not remember what was happening in the flashback there. Oh, never mind. That was firing on the missiles. Never mind. Although I'm surprised we didn't show the piloting through the star. Insubeam? Victorious from the front line. Front line of where? I also remember back in the past, we saw Dessler surrounded by like women all the time. I expected women to come out from under the water. Okay, wearing the pin pad on his jacket. The slow approach made me feel like he was going to pull a pistol and attempt assassination. Oh, we're going to know somebody on the Pluto base?
また君に勲章が一つ増えるだけだろうが、休養半分で軽くやってきてもらおうか。あ、かしこまりました。
Okay, we're going to take on the Yamato as part of this vacation. I was legit worried that, like, maybe we'd missed an episode somewhere. But no, apparently this guy was just been off winning somewhere else. A UFO?
方位ポイント AX の11速度8宇宙ノット了解こら副将忘れるなうるせえな方位ポイント AX の11速度8宇宙ノット
So I don't know that I would super love to know that the admiral commanding the fleet to attack the Yamato was just effectively on vacation. That's not the typical gameless visor that we've seen before. I feel like you're attacking just randos. They haven't even fired back. I have to assume that they know what gameless ships look like. And again, the Admiral had to have been fighting somebody. You know, he just succeeded on the front lines. So the idea that these might be the people that Gameless is fighting against and you just made enemies of them could be a thing. Again, no open visor, so it's got to be some sort of juke. Like they're gonna take the helmet off. He's not gonna be blue. He's not gonna be a gameless guy. Or I guess he could be from Iskander. That would be another subversion. And plus we know Iskander. Though we've never seen anything military from Iskander. And they really did not animate any other women in the show, did they? Oh, man, I can't choose between the extremely gray bread or the green goop. You can't sterilize what's inside the airtight uniform. Ironically, now would be the perfect time to ambush this ship. Now that everybody's out of their posts. So why is Mori the only one that dresses like a space pirate? Dehumanizing the enemy. Did he, like, die when he was... I mean, he could have been dying the whole time. He's got a blue face. Guess he is a gameless. Was it like an ace pilot patrol or something? I mean, this would have been way more confusing, I guess, in the first 10 episodes where they were all normal human colors. I don't know how this took off his other glove when his other glove was not in the thing.
呼吸による大気成分酸素 20%、炭酸ガス 2%。我々と同じじゃな。
But, you know, blue. Abba dee, abba die.
ほとんど我々と変わらないじゃないか。ああ、青い皮膚を除いてはな。
古代君。
なんじゃね古代君、ここは緑。おお。
I mean, very much a crime. Although, they are trying to kill all of humanity, so I don't know where this lies in the spectrum of things. It was right there, and I knew I'd fucked up.
西暦2192年、古代進は中学生であった。緑の美しい三浦半島の一角に彼の生まれ育った村がある。
Are we gonna get like a 0080 here? This guy crash landed on Earth a long time ago. And could I nose him? Oh yeah, no, sorry, I forgot his anger was based on the fact that his brother died. I mean, to be fair, everybody has family back home that's dying to the radiation.
おかえりなさい、兄さん。お、ニキビが出てきたじゃないか。進む。
You know, yeah, with that implication that they went through that whole episode of communicating back home, I really feel like his specific anger is just... Again, everyone's losing stuff.
幸いまだ日本への直接被害はないが、いつまで無事でいられるかな。
僕も覚悟しています。いつでも宇宙へ飛び出していって悪魔のような奴と戦うつもりですよ。何しろ相手がわからねえんだからな。
So Earth is already under attack.
進む？どうしたの？せっかくお兄ちゃんが帰ってきたというのに。
お兄さんだけいればいいんだろう。
進む。
お兄さんがいればみんな楽しそうなんだ。
進む？あんたは一年中お父さんやお母さんと一緒にいられるんでしょ？
Is this jealousy?
休暇の時だけ、たった5日か6日一緒にいられるだけなのよ。
Is his anger actually at himself, and that's the whole thing?
休暇の時だけでもお父さんやお母さんを分けてあげてもいいでしょ？
I mean, he's a kid. It's one of the few things I understand kids for. As per all the other shows where I've indicated, what a stupid fucking kid. At least this one I get. Well, can't live here anymore. Radiation. And we know by the absence of the oceans that they've just been randomly, it's actually random, they've been bombing the whole friggin' Earth. Well, that was rather immediate knowledge of the volcano being reactivated before it even, you know, went off. Yeah, you're not that far away.
わかりました。直ちに戻ります。お母さん、すぐに帰らなくてはならなくなりました。
守る。
お母さん、お元気で。
あなたもね。
I mean, ultimately, we know what happens to him. I don't know what this episode's trying to imply to us. We already fucking hate the Gambless people. So we understand where he's coming from with the trying to stab the guy. I mean, that doesn't serve us very much. We can still study the guy. Get intelligence from him at that.
日本列島も十数発の優勢爆弾の洗礼を受け、大半がやめる土地となってしまった。時に西暦2193年の夏であった。日本でも地下都市の建設はその頃から一段と急ピッチになっていた。進の故郷三浦半島でも爆弾の被害が津波のように押し寄せてきていた。各学校は病院に、先生も生徒も近所の人もにわか監獄として働かなければならなかった。
I mean, it is very much like an episode of The Day After, just with aliens instead of us.
地球防衛軍の動きも慌ただしくなっていった。おい、進む。こっちだ。
お兄さん。
お父さんもお母さんも変わりないか。
うん。これお母さんから食べてくれって。
お、寿司か。おふくろの寿司はうまいからな。進む、お前も食べろよ。
うん。お兄さん、もう何回ぐらい宇宙を飛んでるの？
訓練学校を卒業して。
Yeah, I feel like the only thing is they're trying to attach us more to his loss from his brother. But again, I feel that more from that episode where they called home and everybody felt lost.
避難しなきゃならなくなっちゃったんだ。今日お父さんが手続きに行ったよ。
そうだったのか。
それで今日はさよならを言いに来たんだ。
どうだい、進む。お父さんやお母さんが安全なところへ移ったら宇宙戦士に志願しないか。どうしたんだ。そうか、お前は小さい頃から喧嘩の嫌いな平和主義者だったからな。
ごめんよ兄さん。
いや、いいんだ。その代わりお父さんやお母さんの世話頼むぞ。
うん。
I mean, I also get it's a very good backstory episode to show us the life from bombardment to, you know, where it is now. I just don't know why it's couched in this. We have an alien. I'm gonna stab it. Start.
母さん、手続きは済んだ。すぐにも移転できるぞ。
そう、よかったわ。
ところで進はどうした？
4時のバスで帰ると言ってましたから、そろそろ迎えに行ってやらなくちゃ。
よし、私も行こう。この頃あいつにもさっぱり付き合ってやらんからな。
You know, it also expresses that all of these people have been exposed to the radiation for quite a while, too. Because it literally hit just on the other side of the mountain.
あれは君が帰るバスを待ってた時だったな。
いつまでもこの風景がこのままだといいですね。どうしたのかしら。いないわ。
そうだ。
Well, I guess this is why we didn't learn anything about his parents. Wow, that is amazing audio work there. You can hear the human suffering.
お母さんお母さん
And also your father. For what? It's like the thing she wrapped the food in with, but for all I know, that could be your skin.
やめろおいやめんか
古代たとえどんな理由があろうとも捕虜を虐待したらどうなるか君だって知ってるだろう
Now he's not a prisoner. Now you can do whatever the hell you want to him, right? No, because he went to kill himself, not to attack you.
貴様も人間なら命の大事さを知れ
The hell is coming from this? Also, not human.
それから数日後のことで
Also, we're gonna find out that this is like Battlestar Galactica. Gamblers people come from Earth.
起きたは何か手がかりをつかもうとしたが末端の兵士にガミラスの実態が分かろうはずもなかった
真田君宇宙ボートの修理はできたか
はい
古代釈放してやれえヤマトの食料事情から考えても余計なものを乗せて
Yeah, but now he has like information about the inside of Yamato.
古代
This seems like a bad idea too.
わずかでも食料も与えてやれいいな
No. We're in a war for the extinction of the human race. We don't need to be kind to the guy. I guess to be fair, he didn't shoot back at them at any
こういう
point.
ものだ持ってけ
さあ出発だ
I mean, this guy better come back at some point. Make all of this worthwhile. That or I guess go back and tell people that humans are alright. I don't think it's like something we can come back from. They're fucking killing everybody on Earth.
ガミラス兵は水ごともなく立ち去っていったしかし地球は刻々と病の道を
Exactly.
ヤマトよ急げその帰りを一日千秋の思いで待っている人々のために人類絶滅を告げる日まであと305日人類絶滅の日まであと305日
That was a good episode, but I don't think we needed to waste time on how much time is left before humankind extinction on backstory, because that's to say that took 3 days on an episode called Hurry, you know? Gamma soldiers captured the first time. Yamato crew examined him. Captured soldiers already on the ship. Main planet can't survive without radioactive air. So, yeah, what I said before. Schultz and the rest of Pluto base could have been modified and might be immigrants. Flashback was shown at Kodai, the Mirai Peninsula, and when it was 12 and 2192. From the episode on, Akira was assigned the voice of Kato Sabura. I know, like I said before, apparently the Gambless people need radioactive air to live. I think Dessler said something about living on Earth at some point, and I said real early on the possibility existed that this is like a terraforming project for them. Oh man, is Iskander gonna be evil? So the thought process entered my head that maybe Iskander and Gambless are side by side and not. Well, they did say from the front lines of the war, and we have no idea what the front line is. It seems weird that Gambless will be fighting like a galaxy-wide thing, and then still be fighting the planet next door. it could be that Iskander is like the high society royals and Gamulus is the warriors, and the warriors are fighting all over the place, and Iskander is like the main race, and Gamulus is the modified race. So Gamulus is trapped living in the ruins of the place that Iskander can't live in, or wouldn't want to live in. That's just a theory for now. Obviously, it doesn't seem to fit with the element of the Iskander was princess or something. I don't have my board up in my notes. Them coming to offer us aid, but that could just be a thread. Like, it could just be a thread to follow for, or it could be a Voltes 5 thing, the fight against the status quo. I don't know. It just seems like something is missing here. Something's missing here that seems like it would solve for everything. And I feel like it's tied to the element that Gamulus is irradiating Earth. And that's the kind of place that they live. I don't know. Otherwise, really good episode. I appreciate everything except for the enemy soldier capture part. Like, I don't think we needed that to get the backstory of a character. Legitimately, you could have just put this back to back with the Call Home episode, and when he is sitting in front of the screen, not calling anybody, he could just be thinking about, hey, this is how all my family died. Make it a two-parter. However, I think we can't do a two-parter here, because quite literally, I feel like every episode of Space Battleship Yamato is meant to be able to be watched alone, just in case you haven't seen anything else. That's why they do the recap all the time, and then, how much time is left. I don't know. I really like the flashback part of the episode, seeing the character's backstory and what it was like to live through the stuff. I just don't think the capturing the guy and then letting him go does anything unless we come back to it, right? Like, we see that guy later. Like, if he is like one of the 3 infiltrators on the SDF Macross, back in the SDF Macross era, be influenced by the humans, go back with stories of the humans, and have that spread. But without any evidence, like, we didn't even get the guy's name. Without any evidence of that, I can't see that coming to anything. Plus, ultimately, we didn't get any real information from him, and we lost some food. So, I don't know. Now, either way, I think that's it for this episode. So, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?